Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Steph Talk. I'm your host, Stephanie. Today we're going to talk about the 5 differences that I may or may have not liked between the Riverdale TV series and the comic book series. So let's get started. Number 1. One of the things that the Archie comics are known for is the love triangle between Betty, Archie, and Veronica. So you have the girl next door, and then you have the bold girl that's rebellious. And now that they decided to do a spin-off on the Riverdale series, so you have the girl next door, and then you have the rebellious girl, the bold girl, right? And Archie's always usually trying to pick between the two, and he most of the time picks Veronica, right? So then in the Riverdale TV series, it just mostly focused in on Veronica and Archie.
We shouldn't do this.
We definitely shouldn't do this.
So that being said, I wasn't sure how I felt about that because I just felt like that was always an interesting dynamic. For all of us CW viewers, from what I've gathered, I could be wrong, but for most of us that watch CW, we love that drama thriller stuff, right? So anyway, number 2. So one of the things that I also found really interesting was that in the Riverdale TV series, Cole Sprouse plays Jughead. While I love seeing Cole Sprouse on the screen again in something very popular as the Riverdale series, I just kind of felt like they kind of redid Jughead's character completely different than they have in the different variations of the Archie comics. Jughead has always been the comic relief. He's always found at Pops, eating food, and he's always doing his own thing, and he's known to be the black sheep, which in Riverdale he is kind of like the black sheep, only he's more of like this moody, serious guy. Yes, sometimes he has like sometimes he's grounded and has a good advice to give, but I almost feel like in a way as the TV show keeps progressing, they took that away from Jughead. So I wasn't a fan of that, not sure how I feel. He's very moody. There's also that infamous scene.
Haven't noticed? I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in, and I don't want to fit in. Have you ever seen me without this stupid hat on? That's weird.
Let's just forget that and move on to number 3. Number 3. So the thing that I wasn't, so one of the things that I wasn't, I'm not sure, fully % on board is Veronica's dad. So in the first season, Veronica's dad is gone. Veronica's dad isn't really there, right? He's in jail. It's presumed that he's in jail, so they move to Riverdale and start the life all over again. And Veronica is like trying to be like the nice girl. But we're not really talking about that. We're gonna go focus on Veronica's dad. So Veronica's dad, so he becomes, like when Veronica's dad pops into the picture, he becomes like this manipulative, deceitful guy who causes drama and wants his way, right? So that being said, I'm not sure how I feel about that in the sense that it kind of takes away Archie's character morale. Number 4. So number 4. One of the things that I liked about the Riverdale spin-off of Archie is that Archie is now more confident. So he is more full, well, not full of himself, or he's more confident within himself versus in the Archie comics, he's always been very aloof, clumsy, careless. But in this Riverdale series, he's more confident, trying to do right by his family, ? Because in Riverdale, like he kind of gets stuck on trying to prove himself to Veronica's dad, and he becomes like Archie's like little, or Archie becomes like Veronica's dad, snitch, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what happened there. That was like, what the hell is this? Because in the comic book series that Mark Waid and Fiona Fisher write, which Riverdale is loosely based off of, Reggie is known to be that role within that series. I'm like, okay, like, all right, so they're a thing, I guess. That's a snitch. But then in the TV series, Archie becomes, I don't know about that. I feel like they should have just kind of had him be like, oh, go lucky guy, confident, always trying to do right though, always trying to do right. So that would cause more of an interesting feel of Archie and the death, and we kind of would understand more of his background and moral compass. I feel like they should have just stuck to one thing rather than, I don't know what the hell, be whipped, I guess. I don't know. Sorry for those fans, but that's what it seemed like. Number 5. So in the Fiona Fisher and Mark Waid version, Betty does date someone else. So backtracking a little bit, in that version of the comic books, it is said that Betty and Archie did date, but then something happened where she was trying to be more girlier, because in the comic books, in that comic book series, she was more of like this boyish, she was more boyish, worked in cars, but still straight student. And then they date, then she tries to be girly, and then something happens, they fight, they break up, whatever. But then anyway, so she moves on and she starts dating someone else. I know that there's a lot of, and again, if you have any opinions on that, just comment below, but just something to talk about. I'm not a huge fan of it. I like Jughead and Betty, don't get me wrong, I really do. I kind of like that they're together, and she kind of is like this moral compass for Jughead, but that also goes back to what I was saying earlier, that he becomes like this moody, dramatic guy, and you're like, I don't know about that. Anyway, but I kind of like that she was able to date other people, because in none of the comic book storylines did she ever date Jughead. So I wasn't sure how I felt about their relationship. There's always a lot of on and off, versus you see kind of like Veronica and Archie, they stick through everything. And so I just didn't understand that Archie was willing to do whatever it takes to be with Veronica, but then Betty and Jughead are always like literally like on the verge of breaking up because of whatever happened, right?
Ever occur to you just how different we are? Like on a cellular DNA kind of level? You're a straight A student. You're a cheerleader, for God's sakes. You're the perfect girl next door.
I hate that word.
I'm the damaged loner outsider from the wrong side of the tracks. Betty.
I wasn't a huge fan of that, but again, I still like seeing them together, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I would still like to see a different dynamic on that. So that being said, those are my top 5 things. What do you think? Do you want to see Betty and Archie together? Do you like Jughead's character in Riverdale? Let me know, comment below. And if you like what you see, subscribe. I will be posting more videos on Riverdale in the future. Thanks.